20 laps the distance. A lot of strong competitors up front. Some stronger cars mid-pack. We'll see if they can make their way toward the front of the field as they come off of turn number 4, looking for the green flag. Ron Mitford, Joey Farino to bring the field to turn 1 for the first of 20 circuits, and there's trouble already mid-pack.
Trouble down the front straightaway. Everybody seems to scatter in the mid-pack of cars.
Karsten Cole, Jason Finkbein, and one other car. It might be Casey Vogt on the inside of the racetrack. Mitford at the point, and the wily veteran of this division, Joey Farino, to the outside of the front row. Paul LaRue to the inside of row number 2. Peter Bennett to his outside. We'll try it again. Take 2 here for the SK Light Modified main event.
It's a rinse and repeat situation for Ron Mitford, who moves to the front of the class. Here comes Paul LaRue. He'll make a run for it, but Joey Farino comes off the turn like a rocket. Glued to his back bumper is Peter Bennett. Bennett now goes to the outside. He's not happy with just second. He's going for the lead, 3 wide. They came off the turn. Here comes Nick Anglace, the Yukon-sponsored race car. It now moves to the outside. Leader still remains Mitford. Peter Bennett, quickest car on the racetrack, in second, car number 50.
There they come off of turn number 4. Top 2 have singled out. Dalton McCarthy way out of shape over in turn number 3. Will lose a couple of spots to his outside as the leaders go in turn number 1. Car showing tire smoke just outside of the top 15. Now one car gets shoved to the outside. There are cars all over the place, but everybody in the right direction for now. Top 12 or so have broken away at the front. Ron Mitford out front over Bennett, Farino, Anglace, and the 67 for Dean Lambros back into the top 5, having a consistently quiet ear toward the front of these fields, and he's having another great run here tonight. Nick Anglace now shuffled to the outside lane in car number 10. Paul LaRue to his inside. Then it's going to be Matthews, the winner a couple of weeks ago, and the current high point leader, Nick Hovey, in car number 16. One car way out of shape in turn 2. That's Anglace. Gets up the racetrack off the corner, and we'll lose a couple of more spots as we keep an eye at the front of the field as well as things tighten up there. A couple of drivers not always toward the front in Ron Mitford and Peter Bennett having great runs here tonight. Halfway home, 10 down, 10 to go here for the SK Lights, and Nick Anglace out of shape front straightaway. That car was loose off of turn number 4, was caught by, it looked like Kolo Giannis, spins to the infield going into turn number 1. We'll see if he can keep it fired up. He does. We stay under the green flag as the field comes back off of turn number 4. Another driver looking for his first win in Ron Mitford in car number 76 at the point, but here comes Peter Bennett.
Peter Bennett literally taps on his back bumper. They go around Anglace, a car that spun earlier, kept going. Hats off to him. Back up front, leader of the pack. Still, it is Ron Mitford. Side-by-side bid. Mr. Inside-Outside, Farino.
Trouble off turn 4. Sammy Anderson gets turned, and a couple of cars go piling in. Looked like it was off the front bumper of Amanda West as they came off of turn number 4.
Here we go. Coming off the turn, Ron Mitford looks as fast as he did on the initial start. All of a sudden, Peter Bennett tries a different strategy. He tried to get as much momentum as possible.
Trouble again off of turn 2. One car goes around. It's Finkbein. Houghton will scatter to the infield along with Barkowski and Dalton McCarthy.
Here we go, Kyle. They're set again to try it. Now remember, on the last restart, Peter Bennett kept it wide and tried to gain as much momentum into turn number 1 as he could. But by the time Ron Mitford came off turn 2, he had an advantage of about half a car length. Will he try the same strategy? Here's Kyle Rickey with the call.
Back underway off of turn number 4, still 8 laps to run. Mitford and Bennett 1 and 2 with Lambros right there in the 3rd spot as they go to turn number 2. Lambros. Hovey has come from mid-pack and is up to 4th, and there's trouble. Matthews gets collected with Farino heading into turn 3, and everybody barely avoids Matthews. We stay green for now as they cross the line to complete another lap with Mitford to the point in turn number 2. No change up front, and Matthews' car comes to a stop, and the yellow is out.
So the caution flag comes out. Matthews ended up being tapped. They came together, but
going after Farino here under caution, and that's usually a no-no.
And so they head down the back straightaway. They're picking up at the rear of the field. Those are the two cars. 7 circuits remaining. Will it be clear and smooth to the finish? There's the green. Midford again on top of his game. But it's up to Bennett. He leaves the door open. And guess who comes in? Nicholas Hovey. Hovey moves into second. Side-by-side bid. Kyle, look what's happening for position number 4. Lambros has moved into the 4th spot again, and here comes Megan Fuller working the outside, trying to get into the top 5.
Paula Root to her inside, Megan Fuller to the outside lane. Have not heard much from Megan thus far here tonight. She's been able to avoid all of the incidents and runs well among the top 5. I see the battle for the lead here at the start-finish line, and it's a good one as they go back to turn number 1. Nicholas Hovey right to the inside of the racetrack with a full head of steam up the back straightaway, looking to take the top spot away from Mitford, who has led the opening 15 laps. Here comes Hovey back to the bottom and back to the point. Crossover move for Mitford.
Mitford tries his best. He does take it back. Hovey says no way. He'll try the same type of move off turn number 2. Down into turn 3. It is Hovey by inches. Here comes Bennett. Bennett following Hovey through.
Trouble behind him. One car goes around. It's Askler off the front bumper of Kologiannis in turn number 4. And we'll see if we can keep it under green. Leaders are in turn 2. The car does not fire back up until after the caution flag, and the field passes safely to the outside. Brings the field down to the stripe. Green flag is out. 2 miles to run.
No question about it. Mitford trying to give it his all in the upper lane. Bennett is still there. Here comes Dean Lambros. Lambros is there. He's challenging. Megan Fuller moves in off the turn. It is Nicholas Hovey, the leader, but the pressure is there. Lambros, along with Bennett, side by side for the 3rd position. And now Mitford tries it again. Moves in right there on the back bumper. Takes a sneak peek at the bottom. It doesn't work. Meanwhile, trouble now for that 3rd position. Lambros had to back out of it just a bit.
He'll get back in the line in 4th. Top 3 breakaway just a bit as they go to turn number 2. Hovey at the point. Mitford trying to become the 3rd first-time winner of the evening. Has some work to do. Time running out. Goff goes around off of turn 2. As the leaders take the white flag, Nicholas Hovey goes to turn 1 as the leader, and they're stacking up here at the start-finish line. One car up in the air. That was Anglaise. Matthews is involved, the 55 for Akari, and the caution comes out as the leaders were getting the white flag, and a couple of more up in turn 3. Dylan Houghton is involved in an incident along with Finkbein in the 64. Early race leader Ron Mitford to start alongside in the 76, back under the green flag as they go to turn 1.
Hovey does the magical inside move. He'll take the lead. Mitford still there, not giving up. 18 circuits. Mitford stays glued to the back bumper. Meanwhile, look at that bid for the 3rd spot. Lambros on the outside. Bennett down low. 1 lap to go.
1 lap to run at the front of the field. Nicholas Hovey looking for another win here on the 2025 season. He is able to break away from the Hornets nets behind him, led by Ron Mitford in the 76 in the 2nd spot.
Here they come off turn number 4. Back in winning form, Nicholas Hovey will take down the victory. Ron Mitford, an impressive 2nd place finish. They're about ready to fire them up off turn number 4. All eyes are on the field. The SK Modified Casella 80 is green here at Stafford, bottom of turn number 1. Inside looks Gracie, but by the time they come off from turn number 2, it is Andrew Moeller by inches ahead of Jonathan Pulio. Side by side, stacked up 2 by 2, Kyle. but the leader on lap number 1 will be Andrew Moeller.
Last year's champion here at the Stafford Speedway, Andrew Moeller to the point. Here comes Mike Christopher Jr. wasting little time trying to get to the front of the field. Bottom shot in turn number 3. Car 82, Mike Christopher Jr. goes to the front by a half a car length. He'll lead lap 2.
We've only had 2 circuits, 1 mile. Already 2 different lead changes. If you think they're done yet, you are completely wrong. Meanwhile, to the outside, and now challenging to the inside. Julio dives down low to the inside lane. Behind him is Chapman with car number 41. Back to the bottom of turn 2. Still side by side for second. Leader remains Michael Christopher, stepping out of line. Tap to the back bumper, Andrew Moeller. Wants his spot back, Kyle. He comes off turn number 4.
Here he comes, bottom of the racetrack. Another lap in the books. It is Christopher at the line by a bumper. 12/100ths of a second at the stripe, but Moeller digging hard on the inside of the racetrack off of turn number 2. Retakes the race lead. Jonathan Julio, best seat in the house, right there in third.
JP is waiting in the wings. They come off turn 4.
Looked to make a move, but fell in the line. Talking about Mike Christopher Jr., but now he'll make a move in turn 1 to the bottom of the racetrack on race leader Andrew Moeller. They are nose to nose for the top spot, just in front of Jonathan Julio. Chapman in corner. Christopher back to the front of the field, maybe off of turn number 4. He'll clear him by a car length.
3 different times we have had a change at the point among the same 2 cars. But now, moving in is JP. Jonathan Julio has had a car that sticks like glue to the inside of the racetrack. That's making Moeller take a different line. Here comes Chapman now. And all of a sudden, car 31, Noah Corner, who's had a terrible start to the season. He's among the top 5 and moving in. Deep into turn 3.
Back to the inside when Julio, and Christopher still has that momentum in the outside lane, able to hold him off lap after lap. Chapman is there in third. Still, here comes Julio. This time he has the run and is up alongside.
Julio rim rides to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes our 4th different leader of the event. This time it's JP, Jonathan Julio. Julio moves to the front of the class. That bumps Michael Christopher back in second. Then it is Chapman in the 3rd spot. Christopher gives the old tap to the back bumper. Lets Julio know he's there. Here comes Noah Corner now. He'll be in the 4th position and starting to close up the gap. Then there's that margin as Andrew Moeller is back in 5th and Mikey Flynn is coming forward. 21 of 80 circuits now complete in the Casella Waste number 8.
The car spun in turn 2. Wesley Prucker goes around. Caution comes out for the first time here on lap 33.
The independent runner out of Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Wesley Prucker, who's been very strong in recent weeks. Lap number 32, back to green, and it appears that JP did a great job in the outside lane, and it cost Michael Christopher position number 2. Tyler Chapman moves to the SK Modifieds, and he is showing muscle. But look out, because here comes Mikey Flynn. Car number 24 started in the 9th position. He has moved in. We've got a challenge still, again, taking place not only for the lead, taking place for the 3rd and 4th, the 5th and 6th, and 7th and 8th positions.
Great positions at top 8. Caution does come out for a spin over in turn number 1. Wade Gagner goes around by himself in one of his first starts in this race, or this division. 3rd start here in the SK Modifieds for the driver of car number 70.
Tyler Chapman, different player to the outside. They're up to speed.
Tyler Chapman topside, Jonathan Julio to the bottom. Green flag is back out. They race to turn number 1 to begin lap number 34, and it's the inside that will advance. Jonathan Julio by a car length. Here comes Mike Christopher Jr. looking to fill that hole on the bottom on Chapman for second. Chapman trying to slam the door. There wasn't enough room. Christopher up alongside for the runner-up spot.
Christopher's car bobbles just a bit. He gets right back on the throttle and straightens it out. Here comes Mikey Flynn. Mikey Flynn, car 24, started in the 9th position. He has moved up, challenging in the 3rd spot. He shuffles Chapman back a little bit further, And all of a sudden, moving now to the inside, Max Zachem is coming to the top 5. Zachem is there as he works his magic. Noah Corner continues to run hard. Here comes Keith Rocco. He's making his presence known. Trouble now. Caution flag is out.
Wade Gagner, Kurt Brainerd, and Troy Talman all get collected in an incident off of turn number 4, and some pretty good right side damage to the Wade Gagner car.
And here is the replay. Now, we didn't catch this when it all came into play on the first time. One car snaps around.
It looked like Troy Talman and Wade had nowhere to go.
Yes,
in
and
the
he got
70.
pinned to the outside wall, and there is the damage done to the Mayberry Associates machine, car number 70. Here they come, back up through the gears and off the turn. Guess what? Michael Christopher did not lie a bit, but JP Jonathan Pulio is an informative match as he heads off the turn. JP is back in command. Christopher changes his line, dips to the bottom in front of Mikey Flynn. Now Mikey Flynn sees the door open. Mikey Flynn, the 24 car, the Bellaheggie Farms machine, in the 3rd position. Forcing up the hill is Chapman, and like it was happening on cue, here comes Keith Rocco. Rocco in the 5th position.
And at the line, lap 50 in the books, and congratulations to our race leader for Jonathan Pulio, picking up the $100 bonus from Donnie and Carol Clifford, as now we enter the final 30 laps. And wow, what a race to the lead in turn 3. Mike Christopher Jr. all over the back bumper of race leader Jonathan Pulio. Mikey Flynn, who has had a great season so far, right there in the 3rd spot. Here comes Christopher to the bottom.
Christopher tries to make the move down under, but when JP gets on the gas, that car just jumps ahead by about half a car length. Back to the stripe he comes. JP is still the leader of the event.
We are closing in on the final laps of this Casella 80, 66 of 80 in the books, 67 this time around as they move to the outside of the Caruso car in turn number 1. And here comes Christopher with a run up the front stretch and into turn number 1 on Jonathan Pulio. Can't make it stick on the bottom and has to fall in the line. Pulio guarding that outside lane. We'll see, or inside lane. We'll see if he drifts up off of turn number 4. Mike Christopher Jr. had that charge to the inside about 4 laps ago. Since then has faded. Not sure if he used up his stuff or not, but if he's going to make another charge, he's got to do it soon now with just 8 laps to go and not a whole lot of lap traffic in sight for car number 7, Jonathan Pulio out front. Now trouble off turn 4. Wesley Prucker goes around all by himself, car 23, and this changes everything.
It sure does. Wesley Prucker's car spins coming off the 4th turn as that will bring out a caution. Pulio has been fast, flawless, and unbelievable as the leader of this event. Let's see what's going to happen. We're coming down to the wire. All eyes are on turn number 4. Everybody holding out to the edge of their seats. Here they come. Green is back out.
5 laps to go. Pulio to the inside, looking for the race lead on Mike Christopher Jr., and he'll keep it as they exit the corner. Mikey Flynn up the 2nd. Lap traffic ahead as they come off the pit lane right in front of the field in turn number 3. Things are about to get tight as they come down to the stripe.
Off the turn, it's still Pulio in command. Meanwhile, it is Mikey Flynn who is now pressuring Michael Christopher for 2nd. The countdown continues. JP Jonathan Pulio. Meanwhile, Rocco has dropped back. He's in the 5th position. All of a sudden, Mikey Flynn is a factor. We've got cars sideways off turn number 4.
It's Avery all by himself. May have had a little help trying to save that car. Has it fired back up. Will stay under the caution as he keeps the car rolling. So the caution flag flies from the starter stand for Dan Avery.
Back up through the gears. This time, much closer than the last restart. Pulio continues to guard the inside lane. Michael Christopher up on the wheel. changes his pattern.
Corner goes around, back straightaway in front of half the field, does a 360, comes back onto the racetrack. Everybody misses him. And let's see if he can get the car fired back up into the final couple laps. Leaders back in turn number 1, and caution comes out. Let's see who will come out on top here. Pace car is on pit road, takes cover as the field comes to the green flag. And again, Christopher does not miss a shift as he stays right up alongside Jonathan Pulio for the race lead as they exit turn 2. It's Pulio by a half a car length. Christopher staying right with him as Brainerd gets out of shape on the back straightaway. 3 cars go crashing up the backstretch into turn 3. Caruso being one of them as they come down to the stripe.
Caution flag is back out. You know, there's an old saying that cautions breed cautions, and I think we're seeing a perfect example of that. In less than a mile, one person will get the accolades, the money, the honor, and those amazing awards in victory lane.
Jonathan Pulio brings the field back to turn number 1. Mike Christopher Jr. to his right elbow, again stays up alongside and was looking to pull up alongside even more off of turn number 2. Christopher is there, as is Flynn in the 24. Off of turn number 4, here comes the race leader, Jonathan Pulio. White flag, 1 lap to go into Casella 80. Christopher with a move to the bottom in turn 1.
Christopher sinks it in at a ton. Pulio is on the outside. Drag race down the back straightaway. Michael Christopher by inches. Here comes Mikey Flynn. Here comes JP on the outside. They come off turn number 4. The fans are jumping up and down in their seats. Michael Christopher has pulled it off. He will take down the victory. JP, Jonathan Pulio, to finish unofficially in 2nd. Mikey Flynn, brilliant run for 3rd. Chyler Chapman for 4th. Marcello Raffato to finish in the top 5. Michael Jervis for 6th. Stephen Chapman for 7th. Corey DiMatteo for 8th. David LaRue for 9th. And Matt Vesser to round out the top 10.
The master of the big races here at the Stafford Motor Speedway does it again tonight in the Casella 80 for Mike Christopher Jr. Set that move up just perfectly off of turn number 4, coming to the white flag, went to the inside of the racetrack in turn number 1 and took the top spot. And the lead of this race, when it counted the most, Mike Christopher Jr. gets it done here tonight.